marquettenation.org.
Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith here. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. It's time for the best 60 minutes of your life. This is the Homer Hour, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. Alongside ESPN's John Anderson, here's Emmy Award winner Homer.
Yes, the best 60 minutes of your day. The John Anderson Homer Hour. It doesn't matter what's going on in his life. He finds a way to make sure he's on this show. As he just said, us old horses know the way. Give us that quote again.
Young horses run fast, but old horses know the way.
Yeah. I listened to the pregame. They need to have me explain you. They're still learning about the salt of John Anderson. There's some sugar and sweetness, but there's some salt there, and that's as much a part of you as the sugar. How do you like that analysis? Is that fair?
I don't know. Every once in a while, I try not to be the guy that's like, kids get off my lawn or bark at the clouds when it's raining. But, just some of that is, experience is a great teacher. And so sometimes I like to bring that to bear and not go overboard. And then sometimes, I like to insult people.
I like to go overboard, and I want your analysis. You're kind of like the national Tim Van Voorn for me. All right. I am appalled that the appropriate analysis of Malik Willis has not been presented. It is historic greatness. In fact, I now call him 120, formerly known as Malik Willis. He is the only reserve quarterback in the history of the NFL to fill in and in the first 2 weeks have a quarterback rating over 120 in each week, ever. Kurt Warner was close. Kerry Collins was close. Brett Favre is close. And I know he's the only one because when you put it on Twitter, and if you're wrong, someone will find it. You are talking about a level of performance never done by a backup quarterback filling in for a starter, ever.
That might be a little overboard. I think, listen, he's done great. I think LaFleur's play calling has been great. I think both of them have done a really good job of let's keep the ball out of harm's way, which is a lesson for everybody, every quarterback, starter, all-star, whatever, right? I think that's the biggest thing. Like, we have not ever, these two games, they have not put the ball in harm's way. And that is the biggest thing that has happened.
So
and
historic greatness is too much?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He beat Anthony Richardson and he beat Will Levis.
But that didn't. No, I'm not even talking about winning the games. If he had lost both of the games, it still would be historic greatness. I ask you to give me one play that he messed up, even in the slightest way. One play.
Yeah,
just give me one.
Yeah, he's played really, really clean.
Okay. All right.
So yeah, I don't know that there's one. I look at it like this. Okay, I think the first week, because they were so conservative with him, I think it was like winning a blackjack bet with 12. We're like, okay, we got 12, but you know what? I'm going to hang out, and the house busted. I think this week, the way they played, they were really good, and it was like they got a 20, man. They had an ace 9, and because I don't want to split tens. He had ace. I mean, I would if I was actually at a table. I don't. So I feel like they had an ace with the defensive game plan, and Willis was a 9, and they got a 20, and the Titans put down 16 or 17 and had to hold. And so I don't know that he's been historically great. I don't know he's gone blackjack twice, but I think he's been really great. And I don't know how, if you're a Packer fan, Packer player, coach in the building, you just can't go, wow. We have literally, I don't know they stole them because the teams that played weren't great, but that they got out of 2 games with 2 wins. I don't know how they aren't just literally dancing through the locker room and through the offices.
Yeah, now we're cooking. Plus, first down, the first play, they throw to Reed for 30 yards, and I go, holy damn. They said, Tennessee be looking for a run, and let's pass. And that worked. And 3 plays later on 3rd and 6, they do it again. After all this running with this backup quarterback, In the second game, they have two 30-yard plays among the first 4 offensive plays.
Listen, it's just like a pitcher. Warren Spahn, you and I are old enough to remember the old great Braves.
Yes.
You need 2 pitches. You need the one they're looking for and the one to cross them up. And that's what they did. Here it is.
But it worked. It's not supposed to work. The guy's not any good.
Well, okay, here's the thing. Who defined him as not any good?
I guess
the Titans. The Titans, who changed.
No, all right, no. You know who also defined? That's great. Let me answer again. You know who defined him as not very good? LaFleur, by the way he played the first game with him at quarterback. Did he not define him as not very good by the way they played?
No, I think he defined him as a guy who is here. He only has my playbook is not the entire trapper keeper. It's just one little notebook that I have in here, and I think that. I don't know that he didn't think he was very good. He's just like, I don't know that he has very much in his arsenal of what this playbook is. If we're going to do first and foremost protect the ball and not give him dumb plays.
So he'd been there so short a time that you couldn't ask him to do anything.
I sat there, and after the game, the Colts game, as we were walking out, I said to the people I was with, I'm like, okay, maybe next week they'll teach him the part of the playbook that has the throwing plays in it. And so I think it was, very limited, and I think now that he's that he had the extra week, I think they were able to put a little more on his plate. But I will say it's a shocking performance. I don't know if it's the greatest ever, but it's certainly shocking. It's certainly stunning that he would perform to this level, for sure. I mean, look at LaFleur. Like I love that because you have no idea what he's doing. I think we have a really good idea of what he's doing on. Yeah,
I was going to ask you about
26
that.
days. I think
because if I had been there, I'd go, wait a minute. If there's something we don't know, it's only because you don't tell us. What is it? This is quantum physics? I don't think so. Now, what he might not have wanted to say is, you don't know how little this kid had. Not in terms of his intelligence, but in terms of knowing what to do because he'd been here so short. And I can't sell to you how amazing this is because if I do, then I'm telling you what little he was capable of doing because he had been here so short. I don't know. I'll defer to you. But what are you smoking? What do you think if we don't get something, then you don't tell us? But go ahead. I know you're at the airport. Are you talking to somebody else?
No, someone just told me that the jet bridge was full, so I was supposed to stay here for a minute. Okay, now we're good.
You've been following this. You're national. How did you respond to what LaFleur said?
Right. That's the thing. I was like, okay, dude, you in some way, and this maybe goes to do you think he's terrible? What you said is you're so shocked at this and what he's doing. Is that because of what the ability you thought he had coming in which case I would defer to your thought that maybe he can't play, right? Or that they thought he was terrible. So I would defer to that. But I do think I do think that I just don't like whenever coach just decides that you are the dumbest people ever, because people have covered in that locker room football a lot. People that are in that press corps have seen football a lot. It goes back, you've seen this with coaches, right? What do? Wednesday, when you ask them about the game plan, they explain to you that there is no way that we are smart enough to understand what's happening. Is, like I said, this is quantum physics. There's no way you can understand. Then what happens on Sunday? After they win or lose, they go, listen, it's all blocking and tackling. It's that way from Pop Warner on up. Well, which one is it? Am I dumb as a rock, or is it really just blocking and tackling? And so I think this idea that we have no idea. No, I think we have a pretty good idea. Look at you as you went on about, is this historic stuff that he's doing? Yeah, I get it. I think we realized this is a really tough situation that he came into, and he really managed to come out and do an amazing job. So I do feel like we have a handle on it, and I don't know if he's trying to, I don't think he's trying to pump himself up and go, this is how good a coach I am. You don't realize what he's doing and what we've done here. I think some of that might just be in his immediate aftermath of, I can't believe we pulled this off twice. And this time we didn't just pull it off. We crushed these guys. And I think maybe there's just some of that in his own surprise is where that comes from. But I don't buy the whole thing.
I will tell him football's not that complicated. I'm sorry.
No,
it just isn't.
It's not.
And
They
I
haven't
defer
invented
to
anything
somebody
new
like
since
Kurt
the
Warner,
forward
who talks about the mistakes that are made. Because to me, football has changed in this way. The offense tries to know what the defense is doing when they look at them, but the defense isn't really showing what they're going to do. And so you've got to decide that you think what they're at. I mean, both sides change at the line of scrimmage now. And so it's complicated for everybody because you can't know what the defense is doing because you know what? They don't know what they're doing yet.
Yeah, and listen, I like it's telling it was the second pass that he checked out of a play that he didn't like.
Yeah.
And through the fact, because I thought, really? Because I thought we were down on Aaron Rodgers for audibling. And this guy, week 2, gets to go ahead and plays as he came in. I think the guy has a fundamental understanding of how to play quarterback. He's been that for a long time. And maybe I do think there's some sense of the confidence that LaFleur and this team has tried to infuse in him. And I think when you're in the Tennessee thing, you're on a bad team, then before you ever play a game, then you got he doesn't like you, and this other GM doesn't like you, and they give you a couple of starts, bad team, and you're surrounding that team, and that I can see where that kind of maybe wears you down. And if you're in Green Bay, and he says to him, "Listen, we're going to run it 50 times, so we're going to protect you. Don't worry about this. You'll be fine. You can do what you got to do, protect the football. We're going to surround you and help you." Gets through that, gain a little confidence. Wow, I won a game. I actually threw for 100 yards. Who knows? Maybe I can do this thing. And so I think some of that is in addition to all the play calling, I think that team and that coaching staff has infused a bunch of confidence in him. When you saw Watson after the game say, "Listen, he may not say anything about here, but we knew it was really important to him, and so we wanted to make sure we're raising our brother up and do that." And I think that's a powerful, powerful thing.
Yes, and I would say I think the greatest tribute to him is, as often young quarterbacks do, and Levis is a great example, they're just like, "What are you thinking?" He never on any play tried to do more than he could or more than what was there because whatever goes through a young quarterback's mind, they just aren't smart enough yet. He just did the right thing and never tried to do too much, which would certainly create the possibility of problems.
What is it? I think it's Forcer, one of the Dirty Harry movies where Clint Eastwood said a man's got to know his limitations. And I think he's done a really good job of that. And some of that is you got to humble yourself too. Maybe maybe he came from when he leaves Tennessee and goes, "Okay, I need to really, do exactly what is required of me." And maybe it's that, hey, where these other places he was there and you're like, am I going to win the job? Am I going to look over his shoulder? He doesn't have to look over his shoulder. Here, this is your job for 2 weeks. Eventually Love's coming back, so cut it loose. He knows that. So he doesn't have to kind of worry about that. He knows the role that he has. It's well-defined. And then I think it's just really the emphasis of, dude, just take care of the ball.
Yep.
And then it just grows. All of a sudden you're like, well, this is a lot easier. Our defense is mauling the other guy. I think the biggest thing that has really helped in both games is getting to play from ahead.
Yeah.
So that first game, they never had to come off that game plan. So it looked boring in the second half. We're just handing it to Josh Jacobs for 4 feet at a time. Cool. But we're good with that because at no point did the Colts force them out of what they wanted to do. And the same thing here. They got ahead. So first drive, a little iffy with the Colts when they scored. But they get ahead, stay ahead, and they never have to back off what they want to do. And when the defense now decides that they are just going to stone these guys for a while, I think that makes your life so much easier. I'd be curious to see how this thing went if you're down 10-0 after one or 13-3 at half. But that's good. That's a hypothetical you don't have to deal with.
And he never got greedy once.
No.
When he was ahead. Not once.
Nope. Never had a reason to.
By the way, I want you to do some research because we have the Packers, so we didn't talk about it. The most amazing thing going on in the world of football is James Madison football. Now, you need to do research. So the guy who was at James Madison is now the first-year coach at Indiana.
Okay.
And they are amazingly good. The guy who took his place at James Madison was coaching at Holy Cross. You can pick whatever school small enough. He then goes and takes over, and at North Carolina, they put up 50 in the first half and defeated North Carolina 70-50. And if it had been any coach other than somebody who'd won a national championship, he would have been fired at North Carolina after that game because they not only lost, they got embarrassed. 50 in the first half. James Madison.
He tried to quit after halftime. That was the most amazing thing, is he tried to quit. So I was stunned by that from what's happened. But, yeah, 53 is like the number of points high school teams put on other teams. That shouldn't be happening in a D1 football game.
Right, by
and
James Madison.
Brown.
Nobody knows one thing about James Madison football. That's why I was going to ask you. Have you ever heard of anything about James Madison football other than if you even knew those two things this year?
Yeah, come on. The Dukes were really good. And when they were in the they're the FCS, they were like undefeated. Game Day went there one time.
Really?
Yes.
So is that the Appalachian State, that level, those guys? Is that?
Yeah, only they've been really good. They're like, it's a really, other than it's a freaky school when you drive through because.
All right. I apologize to the Dukes. I should have known you would know.
But no, they've been a pretty salty group for a while.
I'm going to check their past head coaches. Clearly they were big because, Indiana. If Indiana wants a football coach, they're certainly going to get him over everybody else.
Or Indiana wants me, Lord, I can't go back there. But I don't know that Ardeen Taylor has ever been offered the coaching position.
All right, what are your thoughts quickly on the Vikings and the Packers? There's still a curiosity. Now this week it's probably about the Vikings even more than the Packers, or not?
Yeah, I'm really curious. Okay, are we finally going to get this whole Love's going to play, not going to play, or are you just going to cop to him? Yep, he gets to come back.
Oh, I think he's playing. He's playing.
Yeah, I don't think anybody was fooled for 1 minute last week about what might be happening. I don't think even for 30 seconds that the Titans went, maybe we should prepare for the other thing. So I'll be curious to see what he's done because, one, he was just okay before he got hurt, and then he hadn't played in 2 weeks. So I'll be curious to see if Love can be sharp. Again, the defense, because I think Love might be, I don't want to say shaky, but he'll have to find his form. So the defense has to be really good. And at some point, I'm just thinking, Sam Darnold regresses to the mean, that he's not going to be this guy he's been for the first 3 weeks. And while the Vikings have been good, the 49ers turned out they've had some struggles. And I kind of hope that it's kind of, the Saints scored, 40 the first 2 weeks, and they're like, look, they're a juggernaut. And the Eagles went in and they shut them down. And you're like, okay, that's a really quality team. So I'm hoping the Packers are the quality team that we go, Vikings have won 3, but they are not. It's a little of that as some empty sugar calories, and they come back. So I'm glad that it's not in Minnesota. I would be happier if it was the green crowd or the gold crowd, whichever one it is. I want it to be the other one.
It's the Milwaukee crowd, whatever they're called.
Yeah. So, but I would like it to be but I don't want to call out the city. I don't just say the green or the gold. I wish it was the green package.
I didn't even know which was which.
But I like the fact that they're home. I like the fact that I think they are brimming with confidence. I like the fact that Jair Alexander got his first pick 6, so maybe he's, after a little of the humility he had to suffer in the first game because the Vikings have a dude that can run and catch passes. So we're going to need him to be at his best when he comes through there. But I like their chances. I haven't seen a line on it, but I'm not
Packers
so sure.
by 3.
I'm not so sure if the Packers have Love that they are not the favorite in this game, despite the Vikings 3-0 record.
No, the Packers are favored by 3. They're a field goal home.
The Packers 3. So, and if that happens, then I think there's a change. I think the Vikings are better than we thought, but they're not really a contender for the division. And I still think the Lions are kind of sorting out what it means to be the favorite and be really good. And so I think they'll come around. but it could be the difference between, is it all just the Lions, or is it going to be, can the Packers offer fight the rest of the way?
I love your comment about Darnold, because you're right. If they can turn him into the quarterback of the last two, the Packers will win again.
Yeah, and let's make no mistake about it. Those two dudes helped the Packers.
Yes.
Anthony Richardson helped the Packers.
Yes.
Like, at the end of that game, I'm not sure, like, which coach was like, I don't want my quarterback to throw the ball. Was it LaFleur or was it the Colts? Like, I don't know that I trust my guy to throw it. But they came around, and then Levis just every once in a while does some stupid stuff. And that's all you need. All I need is Sam Darnold to be dumb twice, maybe 3 times.
Just a little of the old Darnold, that's all.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot, just a little. Yes. That's the game, I agree. All right, thanks. Remember, old horses know the way.
That is true.
Thanks, Secretariat.
Thank you, brother. See you. Bye.
Jason Wilde, next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN.
Trouble continues out on the roads. We've got northbound 43 right about at Fond du Lac Avenue, an accident off on the left shoulder. We've got one on 94 eastbound off on the right shoulder right about at 25th Street. This is a pickup and a semi. We've also got a broken down vehicle southbound on Brewers Boulevard, just about a mile south of I-94. The right lane is blocked with that. On Loomis, southbound at 43rd Street, we got the left lane blocked with another broken down vehicle. All this rain coming down's not making things easy as far as getting around. Things are going to be slow everywhere. Traffic is brought to you by Great Lakes Dragaway, a quarter-mile-long drag strip plus a drift pad. Even drive your own car on the track. Find full event schedule and ticket information at greatlakesdragaway.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, showers ending, mostly cloudy, a low of 58. Tomorrow, mostly sunny and pleasant, a high of 74. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Greg Matzek, Gary Ellerson, the day after reaction show you need in your life.
This offense, Matt LaFleur's side of the ball, dragged this whole team through where they are right now.
It's Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Mondays with Greg and Gary.
The defense got hot at the right time. That might be what we're seeing here with the Packers defense as well.
Live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios from 6 to 8 p.m. every Monday on 94.5 ESPN.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings discount liquor.
The leaves are turning from green to gold. Fall is here, and football season is back. Now's the time to set a game plan for your Green Bay and Wisconsin pigskin parties. This is Marie from Discount Liquor. We are your football party beverage headquarters. Whether you need an ice cold keg, a bottle of your favorite wine, a unique craft brew, or hard-to-find liquor, we have everything you need, all at the lowest prices in town. Come see us today at 51st in Oklahoma and Milwaukee, and on Barstow and Maine in downtown Waukesha. Voted best liquor store again.
The only thing that tops our selection is your savings.
Wherever you're tailgating, we'll get you all set up with your favorite beverages. We're open daily 9 to 9 and Sundays 10 to 2. See all of our weekly specials at DiscountLiquorInc.com.
Discount Liquor.
Hello, I'm Dan Fields, and I have great news. Fields Volvo Cars Waukesha has the Volvo you want in stock and ready to drive home today.
Come see our full lineup of Volvo SUVs, the XC90, XC60, and XC40.
So stop by Fields Volvo Cars Waukesha and take a test drive.
Plus, you'll be part of Fields Amenities program with complimentary loaners, car washes, and gourmet coffee service. Integrity and customer satisfaction will always be the force that drives our business. At Fields Volvo Cars Waukesha, go to volvocarswaukesha.com.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Kyle Wallace. Right now at Universal Windows Direct, get 0% financing for 60 months, restrictions apply. For the last windows you'll ever need, go to uwd.com to schedule your free in-home estimate.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
This is the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN. It's time for Jason Wilde on the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Everybody should get information about the Green Bay Packers from Jason Wilde every day of the year. We don't do our part. We're close. But you can always get Jason Wilde so many times, so many places. Go to WisconsinOnDemand.com. Pebble, do we have a Wilde spot, just Jason Wilde, or not?
A Wilde spot with just Jason?
Well, no, we have Packers stuff, but I mean, like, we have a Marquette thing.
Well, he talks about Boucher a lot, Boucher Automotive.
No, I mean, like, where you can go to Wisconsin On Demand and hit, and you will get every Jason Wilde appearance.
Yeah, there's a section called Wilde.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Wait. Hi. How you doing today?
Fine. John Anderson had a great point. If they can just make Sam Darnold be the old Sam Darnold, the Packers will win against the Vikings. And I looked, and he has actually had some decent numbers when he last played for Carolina. And, I mean, he's been incredible the first 3 games this year, but it's not the only time he's had great quarterback ratings.
Yeah, it's almost as if quarterbacks who are forced to play right away for teams and it doesn't go particularly well, they can maybe find their footing with another organization if they're given the proper opportunity and coaching and situation, right? Like, I just got finished writing something about Malik Willis because who knows? I personally have no idea whether he's going to start or not on Sunday, but I think it's more likely than anything the last 2 weeks.
Jason, it's 90%, 95%. Jordan,
why do you always gotta do this?
Because
why do you have to be the way you are?
Because everybody knows he's playing, and if he doesn't play, then fine, he doesn't play. But given the Vikings, given the condition everybody saw him in before the game and his workout, he's going to play. And if he doesn't play, people should be shocked, surprised, shocked. That's just the way I think it's accurately presented. Now, if you want to disagree with that, then tell everybody why I'm wrong. That's my analysis.
I just don't. You always got to be so definitive. It's part of your charm. Look, I will be surprised if he doesn't start to, but again, we will wait and see. But my point is that
we can't go by what the team says. They lied all last week. I mean, they're going to make stuff up.
Well, they didn't lie. He was limited. That's not a lie.
Okay.
I mean, is it a lie of omission?
Well, it's accurate to say he was never going to play at any point last week. He was not limited. He may have been limited in practice, but there was no point last week where he was going to play. Now, if I'm wrong there, then straighten me out, because that's my view of last week.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of tend to agree with that, but they never said he was going to play either, so that would be their argument. Like I'm tired of the semantics. I think that it was pretty clear that the plan all along was for him to come back no sooner than this game. I'm not willing to go as far as you're choosing to go now because I don't think you can say that. I think there's certainly the possibility that, he still doesn't feel confident in that leg and doesn't trust it, and he decides to wait one more week before returning. But I think that's less likely than the more likely scenario, which is he plays. But my point is that, what Malik Willis has been able to do has been impressive, but he's I don't know how people in Tennessee didn't walk out of that game at Nissan Stadium and go, well, why couldn't our guys bring this out in this guy, right?
Yes, agreed. And what's your answer to that? Well, I mean, nobody will tell us the truth. I mean, he's not going to say it. But we're seeing examples of this. That what?
The truth is he should have sat as a rookie.
Oh, okay.
But on top of that, they went through the coordinator changes that he went through. They had one coordinator his rookie year. They had another coordinator his second year. They had another coordinator this year. Now he's got Adam Stenovich and Matt LaFleur, so he's on his fourth offensive play calling coordinator combination of his career, and he's only in his third NFL season. So that's undeniably part of it. But I think that they obviously, I mean, first of all, let's be honest. I don't know what Brian Callahan is going to turn out to be as an NFL head coach, but it did not appear that he did a very good job of helping his starting quarterback not stink. Fair? I mean, there's got to be ways that you can do a better job of helping that's what coaches are supposed to do.
1,000%. The week after he says, "What the F were you thinking?" he does nothing understanding where that kid is as a quarterback and doing what's necessary to allow him or prevent him from doing anything where the coach would say the same thing again.
Right. So the combination of coaching, opportunity, sitting. Like, look, I would have loved, and I said this to Malik when I talked to him about this on Friday for the story I just finished for the State Journal. Like, I would have loved to see what his career would have looked like had they sat him as a rookie, had he then stayed there. Maybe he sits last season, maybe he doesn't. You know, Tannehill was still there, and then he's their starter this year. I know this. They'd be better off than they are with Will Levis right now. Now, maybe Will Levis turns out to be a better player, but I'm guessing Will Levis's career is going to follow the same career arc as, if he is any good, as Geno Smith. I mean, this is like the Jets version, right? The Jets go through Geno Smith. He's their top pick in 13. He's there, 3 years? He kind of stinks, doesn't work out, bounces around a little bit, and now he's been reborn in Seattle. Sam Darnold. He's their starter there for 3 years. The Jets go 13-25 in his starts. He gets cut there, bounces around a little bit. Now he's with Kevin O'Connell, and it would appear that Kevin O'Connell has figured out how to make him successful. Kind of like Matt LaFleur, right? Same system. The Jets then, not only that, but then they tried a third time, right, with Zach Wilson. He doesn't work out. They were going to try and do with him what they should have done with him as a rookie, which is let him sit behind Aaron Rodgers for a year or two after they acquire Rodgers. Of course, then Rodgers blows out his Achilles. They can't do that with him. And now, he's a backup, I think, in Denver now. I mean, all these guys are proof that if you can, and that's the big if, that they need some time, whether it's at the beginning of their career before they have trouble, like Jordan Love and Aaron Rodgers got, or after they've flamed out in their first spot and they get to hit the reset button. Another guy is Baker Mayfield, right?
Jason, don't we also have to add the concept of the coordinator or head coach?
No doubt.
We have this dynamic that it's almost like I want someone for Kurt Warner or my other quarterback guy, Trent Dilfer's now coach, but somebody to analyze it because it's just an unknown because nobody's going to tell the truth. The players aren't going to say, well, I sucked because the coordinator was an idiot, or I sucked because I sucked. There's a dynamic going on here that maybe you know the answer, that no one knows each situation. All right, in this case, the guy you have player, you have, I think, coordinator now more than head coach, or if the head coach is the coordinator. Aren't those the two dynamics? Then you have also, did he sit?
Yes. And all three of those are correct. I agree with all three of those.
And I don't know. I mean, you say I have no idea what really is most important and what determines success.
Well, I think it's all of those things,
all right,
plus an offense that is compatible with the guy's skill set. But the point of but there's one that's probably more so than others, and it probably varies from situation to situation. Like in Malik Willis's case, Malik Willis, his goose was cooked the minute that the Titans fired the guy that drafted him. Like, John Robinson traded up to draft him in the third round. That was a crappy quarterback draft. The other two guys that went before him were Kenny Pickett from the University of Pittsburgh, who went to the Steelers, started for 2 years, and now he's a backup in Philly. And Desmond Ridder, who's a third-round pick out of Cincinnati who went to the Falcons. He started, I think, 4 games as a rookie and 13 games last year. He stunk. They moved on from him. So it was a bad class, but clearly when you trade up to draft Malik Willis, if you're John Robinson, you're doing it because you think, hey, this guy could be our quarterback in the future with a little bit of time. Well, then they fire you, and your replacement drafts Will Levis with the first pick of the second round last year. So obviously the new regime was like, well, this guy can't play. We're going to draft another guy. I mean, this is all the stuff that Packers fans, with the exception of the last 2 weeks while Love has been hurt, have largely not had to live this life, right? They don't have to worry about what it's like to have crummy quarterback play because it has barely happened in the last 3+ decades. And while Love didn't play great early last season, he certainly found his way in the second half of last season, and now he's the $220 million man. So, look, you have no chance if your quarterback sucks. You have some chance for a short period of time if your quarterback's not really good, but you scheme and figure out ways to make him better than he is, which I think is what has happened with Malik Willis the last 2 weeks. I do find myself wondering if the magic runs out, if he has to start again on Sunday. So maybe he does have to, maybe he doesn't. But the bottom line is sooner or later, teams are going to have a little bit better idea what to do against him. And he's going to have some growing pains again, just like Jordan Love still has growing pains in front of him. I'm just curious, what is Malik Willis's career arc from here? Does this reset button allow him to eventually become a decent starting NFL quarterback? Because the stuff people were saying about him, the source that said something to Jen about he's not good at football or whatever the line was, or Taylor Lewan, his former left tackle, saying what a really nice guy he was, but he doesn't know ball. Like, will those things eventually go away? And were those just unfair views of him because of the situation he was in and the coaches he was with? Or will he revert back to being that guy someday when he's a starter again?
But I think he'll get a chance.
Yeah, I think he's earned one. But again, it's so, I know I've said this to you before, but Tausch has always said this about success in the NFL, and he uses himself as an example. Like, we all know he's a incredible athlete. I know, the media guide with the Pillsbury Doughboy thing and whatever else, and there was a line in there too about you wouldn't think he was an NFL player if you ran into him at the grocery store or whatever. Like, he's an incredible athlete. He has amazing feet. I mean, his ability to move his feet, not his actual feet. But had he gone to Seattle, like he likes to say, because that's the team that he thought was going to draft him, he might have not had any of those opportunities, and he ends up, bouncing around for a few years. Then he's out of the league, and I'm doing the show with Bulaga. So the bottom line is...
See, and I want to say I disagree with both of you. He's too good. He's too good.
But again, that's not an indictment of whether he's good or not. Like, yes,
it is. He goes anywhere, he's going to be a starter.
I don't think you can say that. Not because if they have starting tackles or if they have a good group of offensive linemen and he sits for a while and never gets an opportunity, and then, for whatever reason, they don't re-sign him because he never did anything during his time there. Like, yeah, maybe he gets 4 years in, he gets another chance. But he's a 7th-round pick. Most teams don't sit around and wait for 7th-round picks to show that they're deserving of a spot. So, again, he's too good of a player to have not had an NFL career. I grant you that. But I'm guessing that there are other guys similarly talented who had much shorter NFL careers because they went to the wrong situation, the wrong system, the wrong team, or never got the right opportunity.
And if they are, I'd love to hear about them because Tauscher was with them. And I just don't hear that many. They can name maybe one. I just don't hear that many names of players like that.
Who the hell talks about guys who never did anything?
Because you talk about how good someone was and you thought they would do more than they did. That's what you talk about. Yeah, I thought this guy, they practice them. They know, they have impressions of how good people were, right?
Right, but I'm sure that there have been cases with other teams that we know nothing about because we don't follow those teams.
Yeah. All right. I'll concede. Thanks, Jason.
Wow. I don't know if this has ever happened before.
I'm not feeling well.
It must not be. All right. Take care. Be good.
Talk to you tomorrow. Right? We talk to Jason almost every day.
Talk to him for the next 2 days in a row.
Yeah. I'll get a second chance tomorrow. Next.
The Homer Hour is back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Lots going on, so let's get into it. Northbound 41 at Burleigh. We've got the right shoulder blocked with a crash there. Delays coming up from Blue Mound. 894 northbound at Beloit Road. Left lane's blocked with a broken down vehicle. Another broken down on Brewers Boulevard south of I-94. The right lane is blocked with that one. Also on eastbound 94 right about at 25th Street, we had an earlier crash. Looks like they were able to get it out of the way at least. And northbound 43, a crash at Fond du Lac Avenue has the left shoulder blocked, so watch out for the delays coming out of the Marquette. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Tonight, showers ending, mostly cloudy with a low of 58. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, pleasant with a high of 74. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. Zero sugar, zero carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
Are you looking for a reliable ride? I've got you covered. It's ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta. I use AccuTrans Group for my private transportation needs during the college football season. AccuTrans is a veteran-owned business dedicated to providing unmatched corporate, personal, and event-related transportation that you will use again and again. From corporate travel and weddings to group events, AccuTrans Group caters to every occasion. Booking is easy, safe, and dependable. Visit AccuTransGroup.com to get a quote or to book a reservation today for reliable and safe transportation.
There's a good chance you're on a budget. We all are. But she wants a diamond. You know it. I know it. And Robert Hack Diamonds knows it too, because they offer a huge collection of lab-grown diamonds, and they sell them at crazy prices. How about 2-carat total weight diamond studs for $8.95? Robert Hack Diamonds can get any size, shape, or clarity in natural or lab-grown diamonds. Don't buy until you call Robert Hack Diamonds. $8.95 for a 2-carat pair of diamond studs. Oh, baby! Robert Hack Diamonds in Greenfield and in Brookfield. Why overspend when you can save at Robert Hack Diamonds for the same diamond you're looking for? Some jewelers are charging nearly $5,000 for a lab-grown diamond. Not Robert Hack. Your visit will be worth it, and she'll think so too. Robert Hack also offers repair services and cash for your old gold. But remember, before you do anything, as I did, RobertHackDiamonds.com, and visit them in Brookfield or in Greenfield.
Lock in for October. Brewers postseason tickets are on sale now. Clear your schedule, claim your spot, and be here for a Brewers postseason run you don't want to miss at brewers.com/postseason.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. Visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
You're listening to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Yeah, Jason Wilde's now on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So if I disagree with him, I've never bought that to the same degree. Well, I'm on with Tauscher tomorrow. I'll argue with him. But Brett Favre would have been a great quarterback on any team. Yes, he benefited from Mike Holmgren. Mark Tauscher would have been a starter. I don't know if he would have played as many years, but there may be examples of some, but I think it's few and far between of people that were made because of their situation. They may be made better, but you gotta be good enough. And that's what I was saying. You hear players that can talk about teams they were on where there probably was, I thought this person would be good or this person was good or maybe other reasons. They didn't practice hard or lift enough, whatever. I don't think there are that many surprises relative to playing. Maybe they increased greatness or something. 1-800-990-3776. We have our Discount Liquor Twitter poll question. Brett Favre said he believes that he could have suffered more than 1,000 concussions during his playing career. Do you believe him? I do not. I don't believe 1,000. I don't. I unfortunately have experience with concussions, not as a football player, but 1,000. So then if what did he play, 20 years? That means he had 50 a year. No, not buying it. The next edition of Behind the Bucks is here on the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher. Bucks stars share their experiences from competing on the world's biggest stage, the Olympics, from battling against their Bucks teammates to teaming up with fierce rivals, all for the glory of a gold medal. Behind the Bucks offers unique access and deep storytelling for Bucks fans, unlike ever before. Presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Find it on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts. The Bucks have had an announcement. They're going to have some ownership. Was it Thursday, I think?
Thursday.
My belief, and this tells you how little I have confidence in my belief is that Wes Edens will be selling his portion of the team to the guy from Cleveland. I don't even know what's his name, but do I have any access to that? No. I just know that Edens has said it'd be a good time to get out. He gets a ton of money for his portion of it, and like the Celtics owners, I think, all sold. But we'll see. Yeah, it's probably I probably should learn the name of the owner, the guy from Cleveland. Anyway, someone can call and help me. Dr. Aaron Holterbeck. Met him at their Brookfield office. They make vision care a top priority with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art office. Yeah, at whatever age, very young, very old, you got to take care of the situation you have, whatever you have, and you need an expert, and they're an expert at everything. So Dr. Holterbeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years, and now he wants to help so many people at so many different ages. He's welcoming Dr. Nausheen Abbas to the team. Don't mess with your vision. They got experts in everything. Trust the experts from Holterbeck Eye Center in Brookfield, near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holterbeck.com. Feel free to ask him. How many people and how long? It's just the numbers are incredible. Lapa. All right, I got to get the name of the guy. But anyway, I think he's gonna buy because he's the one who's going to be at the press conference. I think he's going to buy Wes Edens' corner. And again, you judge someone's opinion on how much they're willing to bet. I'm willing to bet $1 on this, which means I have no confidence in the credibility of my opinion. But I do think that that's a possibility. Next.
More of the Homer Hour coming up next on 94.5 ESPN. What happens when you mix a three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year with a Packers Hall of Famer?
I'm not going to get into the Kringle turnover game, so that's what it needs to be. I think his legs. Yeah.
Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Like the pastry. Are you guys being serious? You guys can't put two. I got it. I could not get it.
They don't call themselves Racine Danish turnover.
Sorry. Sometimes I wonder about you two, man.
Catch him from 9 to noon right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And as I tried writing this radio commercial on my phone, that darn autocorrect always seemed to give me fits. Which got me thinking, if you're looking for a stress-free, painless, wow, that was easy home mortgage process, give Great Midwest Bank a try. Find an experienced loan officer at greatmidwestbank.com to guide you to a state of tranquility. Yeah, autocorrect would have never caught that one. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Hey Milwaukee sports fans, it's Brad Nortman from Kyle Brust and Nortman. You've invested too much into that nice ride, so don't settle for a gas station car wash. Treat it to a Tsunami Express car wash. State-of-the-art wash technology, powerful free vacuums, and unlimited wash memberships. Now with 5 locations across Greater Milwaukee, Tsunami Express is your go-to spot for a flawless finish and a first-class car wash every time. Trust me, your car will thank you. Sign up for a membership online at tsunamiexpress.com and get your first wash free. Tsunami Express Car Wash. Wash, chill, repeat.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Michelle Smallman.
My takeaway from the game last night is justice for Doug Peterson, because I think it's more on Trevor Lawrence than it is on Doug Peterson. Doug Peterson is likely going to be the fall guy for this. If in fact somebody is the fall guy, if they do feel like, hey, we paid this guy and Trevor Lawrence a lot of money. He was the most highly touted quarterback coming out of college since Andrew Luck. He was a can't miss guy. But this to me is on Trevor Lawrence. So much of this is on him. He's been inconsistent. He turns the ball over all the time. Watching the game last night, they had the graphic up there. 61 turnovers since entering the NFL in 2021. We talk about Josh Allen and the turnovers all the time. Why don't we focus on that with Trevor Lawrence? And I know he had that disastrous first season with Urban Meyer. I know that he's dealt with injuries, but at some point we have to stop using those as excuses when we talk about his development and where it's not at compared to what the expectations are.
Mom, meet Sarah.
From first-time Nana moments.
Yeah, welcome to Flight 101.
To annual girls trip moments. Your can't-miss moments are worth protecting against RSV. If you're 75 or older or 60 plus with a chronic condition like asthma, COPD, heart disease, or severe diabetes, you're at higher risk of landing in the hospital from RSV. And there are no prescription RSV treatments. Check eligibility and schedule your RSV vaccine at vaxassist.com.
So where should we go next?
Sponsored by Pfizer.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesh Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, service, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
Welcome back to the Homer Hour on 94.5 ESPN.
Thanks to John Anderson, Jason Wilde. All right, I should have known. The new owners of the Milwaukee Bucks, Jimmy and Dee Haslam. They are the owners of the Cleveland Browns, husband and wife. Jimmy Haslam's net worth, $8.5 billion. The Haslam family. His father started the gas stations, not gas stations. You see them all around the country. What is it? Pilot, I think. Let's see. I should know that. Then you see them, the other ones. What are the ones that you see? Pilot, 800 location. What's the other? There's another one where the truck stops are all over. But anyway, the Haslam family as a whole is worth $14.4 billion. So Wes Eaton's, Lasry sold his 25% to the Haslams, and Jamie Dinan, and then Mike Fascitelli. Have you ever heard of him, Pebble? I feel like I haven't done my job. No. Never have. I don't. He's listed as one of the owners. Again, they're having an announcement on Thursday of a change in ownership. I believe, long shot, Wes Eden selling his portion to the Haslams. $14.4 billion. That's That's a lot of money. That was really an insightful comment that I made. I don't know. I think Jamie Dinan. He might be. They're all billionaires. I think billionaires. Anyway, back to the Packers, and Jason Wilde will be on tomorrow. Also, we will have Rain Man and Tim Van Voren, Fox 6 Sports. The Packers are favored by 3. No one has continued my discussion of Malik Willis as 120. That's how you remember him. That's why he's historically special. No one in the history of the NFL as a backup filling in for a starter in the first 2 games had a quarterback rating over 120 in each of the 2 games. Never happened before. That's why I would say that his performance was historically special. Others have maybe done it for 1 game. Favre did. Kerry Collins. I think it's Kerry. Who is Kerry Collins? Do I have that right? He was
Kerry Collins played.
Kerry Collins was pretty close. And Kurt Warner.
Or was it Todd Collins?
He started what?
Was it Todd Collins?
No, it definitely wasn't Todd Collins. But yeah, he was a quarterback as well. And then, of course, the year that happened with Warner is he filled in for the quarterback who got hurt, Todd Green, somebody from Indiana. And so he really didn't. It's not like it was after the game was played. But anyway. All you need to know about Malik Willis is he did what no one has ever done in the history of the NFL. Because if there had been another one, somebody would have mentioned it, and many tried. The Institute is very strong. So please, when you see Malik Willis, call him 120 at his quarterback rating in his first 2 games. But I will say this, when I looked up Sam Darnold, I was surprised how good his quarterback rating was in some of the games that he had before he went to San Francisco. And so he's had 3 incredible games. His quarterback rating is very similar to Malik Willis's. I think Darnold's quarterback rating is like about 118. But if you have an expert, this discussion of young quarterbacks, how soon should they play? Why do some play well and now some are playing well? Baker Mayfield, after everybody thought they sucked. And is it the coordinator? Is it nobody knows? I don't think I've found any story, and if you have one, let me know, that tries to put into context what's the most important thing. The talent of the player, or then when they have this coordinator, or this coordinator's good, or this one's bad, or it needs to be explored. Well, maybe they should all sit for a couple years. Don't know. So if you can be the institute and come up with somebody who's tried to look at all these different situations, because so far things have happened in the NFL, and maybe it's because it's just the preseason because they don't play. Nobody said this is going to happen and this is going to happen. Things are happening that no one said would happen. Sam Darnold is equally as amazing as Malik Willis in terms of doing what no one thought possible. Which is a bigger surprise? I think they're equal. For him to be that good, maybe Malik Willis is a little more because he never did it. Darnold had. What do we have next? Golf? On the tee. They're playing golf all the time. 120, formerly known as Malik Willis. Remember it. Next.
All right, things are